In the month of October 2025, at 10:07 in the morning, a 23-year-old Philadelphia woman sent a text message to a number linked to Keon King that read, "Kidnap me again." But this was not a playful exchange between friends or romantic partners. It was communication with a man who had a documented pattern of violence against women. This documentary aims to present an honest and unfiltered account of the disappearance and death of Kada Scott. Kada Scott was born on November 18, 2001, sharing a birthday with her mother, Kim Matthews. She graduated in the spring of 2024 with a degree in communications. Scott was known as ambitious, kind, and determined. She worked as a community nursing assistant at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill, an assisted living facility. She had also started a beauty spa, operating from her mother's home. She competed in the Miss Pennsylvania pageant. While Scott built a promising future, Keon King had established a disturbing pattern. Keon King, age 21, of Southwest Philadelphia, had a criminal record revealing escalating violence against women. In the month of November 2024, police alleged he broke into his ex-girlfriend's home in Strawberry Mansion. He was arrested in December 2024, posted $5,000 bail, and was released. In January 2025, police alleged King returned with a gun, grabbed her by the hair, and dragged her into his vehicle. The case was withdrawn in May 2025 after the victim failed to appear in court twice. Video evidence posted to TikTok showed King attempting to break into the woman's home. On the night of October 3, 2025, around 11:30 in the evening, a food delivery driver left a 2008 black Hyundai Accent running and unlocked. A man dressed in all black entered the vehicle and drove off. Investigators would later allege this was Keon King and that he used the stolen vehicle to meet Kada Scott the following night. Between September 28th and October 4th, Scott and King exchanged text messages. Scott received a message from a new number, and the sender identified himself as Kel. On October 4th at 10:07 in the morning, Scott sent the message, "Kidnap me again," to which King allegedly replied, "Better be up too." Their final text exchange occurred at 10:09 in the evening and read, "CM when you hear." On the evening of October 4th around 9:45, Scott left her family's home on the 8300 block of Rodney Street and headed to her overnight shift at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill. A coworker was the last person to see Scott outside the workplace around 10 in the evening. She was allegedly seen walking toward a dark-colored vehicle parked outside. Scott had told family and friends that an unknown individual had been harassing her via phone. At 10:15 in the evening, cell phone location data indicated Scott and King were together near her workplace. At 10:24, Scott's phone went offline. At 10:28, the stolen Hyundai Accent parked at the Aubrey Recreation Center, where it remained for more than 2 days. On October 5th at 11:39. In the evening, surveillance cameras captured King's 1999 gold Toyota Camry arriving at the Aubrey Recreation Center, adjacent to the abandoned Ada Lewis Middle School. 2 people exited the vehicle. 4 hours later, 2 individuals were seen removing a large object consistent with a body from the passenger side. Cell phone data tracked King to a residence on the 5500 block of Belmar Terrace, more than 10 miles away. A search warrant executed at the property resulted in the discovery of contractor bags, a hammer, and ammunition. On October 7th, the stolen Hyundai Accent was found burned and had already been compacted at a junkyard. For 2 weeks, Kada Scott's family and investigators searched desperately. On the morning of October 5th, 2025, Kim Matthews reported her daughter missing to the Philadelphia Police Department. Police located Scott's vehicle in the employee parking lot, but her belongings were missing. The FBI and Philadelphia Police Homicide Unit joined the investigation. On October 10th, search operations focused on the Aubrey Arboretum, a 55-acre property. Officers and K-9 units combed the grounds but found no evidence. Police released photos of King's 1999 gold Toyota Camry with heavy front-end damage and Pennsylvania license plate MSX0797. On October 15th, a tip led investigators to the Gypsy Lane condominiums in East Falls. Keon King surrendered on October 14th and was arrested on October 15th. He was charged with kidnapping, false imprisonment, stalking, criminal use of a communication facility, recklessly endangering another person, and tampering with evidence. His bail was set at $2.5 million. On October 14th, police searched the abandoned Ada Lewis Middle School on the 6100 block of Ardley Street. Physical evidence was discovered, including Scott's debit card, phone case, and eyeglasses. Scott's body was not found during this initial search. On October 18th, a very specific anonymous tip was received via email. The tip reportedly stated, "Go back. She's there. Look again." Investigators returned to the wooded area behind the school. On October 18th, human remains were found in a shallow grave. Deputy Police Commissioner John Stanford announced the discovery that evening. On October 19th, DNA testing confirmed the remains were Kada Scott. On October 22nd, the medical examiner ruled the death a homicide. On October 24th, the cause of death was revealed as a gunshot wound to the head. In the month of October 2025, as investigators confirmed Scott's identity, the case against Keon King expanded significantly. His initial charges included kidnapping, false imprisonment, and stalking. On October 20th, additional charges were announced related to the burned Hyundai. On October 23rd, prosecutors approved murder charges. Assistant District Attorney Toxilowski stated the Hyundai accent was on scene at all pertinent points of the investigation. She added that King's mobile device placed him at every location connected to the crime. Surveillance footage showed 2 people at the crime scene. Authorities stated they believed other people may have been involved after the fact. The case exposed troubling failures within Philadelphia's criminal justice system. King had an outstanding warrant from January 2025, yet he appeared in court twice in February. No one in the courtroom knew he was wanted. In February 2025, prosecutors withdrew the strangulation case when the victim failed to appear twice. District Attorney Krasner acknowledged the mistake, stating his office could have done better. For the January kidnapping case, prosecutors requested bail of $999,999. The magistrate set it at $200,000. King immediately posted $20,000 and was released. Philadelphia's 70% victim non-appearance rate in domestic violence cases. The death of Kada Scott resonated far beyond Philadelphia. On October 20th, more than 100 people gathered for a candlelight vigil outside Ada Lewis Middle School. Scott's friend Corey Mode spoke about their connection and had recently asked Scott to be a bridesmaid. On November 9th, hundreds attended Scott's funeral at Mount Airy Church of God in Christ. Mayor Sherelle Parker spoke, recalling how Scott had approached her at the Odunde Festival with confidence and ambition. Attendees wore pink, Scott's favorite color. Mayor Parker announced a city internship program in Scott's honor for young women. On November 18th, Scott's 24th birthday, her family launched a foundation in her memory. Minister Jana Allen stated that violence tried to silence her song, but love does not end that way. During a press conference on October 18th, District Attorney Krasner urged other potential victims of King to come forward. Defense attorney Shaka Johnson faced backlash for representing King. A Change.org petition demanding his withdrawal collected over 2,000 signatures. Johnson refused to withdraw and maintained every defendant deserves legal representation. The interpretation of Scott's kidnap, me again text message, remained unclear. On October 24th, Keon King was arraigned on murder charges and ordered held without bail. King faces charges of murder, kidnapping in 2 separate cases, false imprisonment, stalking, robbery, theft, abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, arson, causing catastrophe, unauthorized use of an automobile, receiving stolen property, recklessly endangering another person, multiple violations of the Uniform Firearms Act, criminal use of a communication facility, and possessing an instrument of crime. The case remains in the pretrial phase with no trial date set. Ultimately, the case of Kada Scott exposes the devastating consequences when warning signs go unheeded. Scott was an ambitious Pennsylvania State University graduate who had launched her own beauty business while working in elder care. King by contrast, had established a documented pattern of escalating violence against women. What are your thoughts on the criminal justice system's handling of domestic violence cases when victims fail to appear in court? Should the cash bail system be reformed to keep repeat violent offenders in custody? Share your perspectives in the comments below. If you found this documentary informative, please consider liking this video and subscribing. Your engagement helps us continue to shed light on stories that need to be told.